Hello, fellow moviegoers, and this is A Writer's View. Today I will be reviewing the movie Pacific Rim that came out on July 12th, and man, is it good! It's a movie about humankind fighting off monstrous creatures called kaiju by using giant robots called Jaegers, which is German for hunter. And that's it. It's that simple. It's about keeping an alien species from getting a foothold on Earth. Charlie Hunnam, who plays Riley Beckett, must learn to work with Mako Mori, who's played by Rinko Kinkuchi. And man, the way they work together is pretty good. They're very real. Their flaws are real, and the person in between them is Stacker Pentecost, played by Idris Elba. And man, he is one of those people that when he's in a scene, you listen to what the man is talking about. The supporting cast is awesome. The person doing the casting knew exactly what they were doing. Dr. Newton Giesler, played by Charlie Day, Gottlieb, played by Bern Gorman, Herc Hansen, played by Max Martini, and on and on and on. Everybody in this movie did exactly what they needed to do, which is just own their characters in every scene that they're in. Let's move on. Alright, some of the good points are, as I just said, real characters. Each one is different, and each one has their own set of real flaws and fears. To get specific, Ron Perlman's supporting role is small, but damn does he own every scene he is in. Every character serves a purpose. Every character has their own goals. Every character has their own flaws and fears. Every character is real. And most times in movies like this, most of the cast are people who are just there to fill the box of a supporting role so the protagonist can go on with their journey. And not only are the characters real, but the world is real and very relatable. The fact that it's an alien race destroying everybody, so everyone watching the movie will definitely have some emotional connection with, crap, this is happening, I don't want it to happen, my world's about to end. Everybody gets it. The story is very simple. Fight to survive. But not only for yourself, but for your entire species. And sure, we've seen this before in many movies, but not at a scale like this. Also, the way they choose the co-pilot is very, very interesting later in the movie. That no psyche valves or drug tests or field exercises are done like you normally see in a movie. They fight. And when they go hit for hit on each other, that's where they know they're in sync. To get a little demographic specific for people who would understand it, martial artists will greatly appreciate this aspect of the movie. That anyone who has trained with a boxer, martial artist, Thai, whatever, dancing's another one, that when you can go step for step, move for move, with your partner or your opponent, you know you're in sync. And in this movie, it's very, very important for these two people to be in sync when they're controlling the Jaegers, because it takes two people to do it. To use a screenwriting term, there is a literal ticking clock that always reminds both the characters and the audience that everything is getting closer and closer to absolute destruction. The reason why a ticking clock is good is so that the protagonist is always reminded that you have to solve the problem by this point or everything is gone. Tensions are always high because of it, especially when the kaijus are coming through faster than the humans can build or repair the Jaegers that they have left. And the Jaegers always feel outmatched, which also helps with the tension. They always seem to have to work harder than we would expect them to in order to defeat each kaiju. And each kaiju that comes through is stronger and stronger and stronger than the one before it. Now, as always, there's always something wrong with every movie, but thankfully in this movie they aren't that big or that many. The story is kind of typical, but not really, of a former soldier who is asked to come back by a former officer or employer. It's a little cliche, but nowhere near as bad, since what the protagonist experienced to feel the actual emotions of someone being killed was, or has to have been, especially traumatic. So we really understand that this guy totally like, wow, I don't know if I can do this, so I need to take a break. Pacific Rim feels a little bit like your typical cheesy 90s action movie, where the story is simple, the characters are kind of intangible, but as I said before, the characters are great, so obviously this isn't as bad, because the characters make up for this relatively simple 90s movie story greatly. It also kind of feels like 60s, 70s, 80s, big monster mashers like Godzilla and so on, but it's totally covered by the tangibility of the world and the real characters. Here comes the biggest writing flaw that I came across. It's a no-no in writing, but isn't necessarily an issue. They introduce a few things that never pan out, such as the kaiju blue. It's described as being poisonous or a contaminant when the kaiju are killed. It's their blood or some type of chemical that they give off when they die and disintegrate. They never go into detail about what it does or how bad it gets. If you introduce an idea in a movie, you need to follow through with it. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and you're dangling a carrot in front of your audience and you never let them get it. And in conclusion, it's a great movie with wonderful and three-dimensional characters and a very realistic world who have very different agendas and emotions. They all have their own different flaws and fears. The world is very tangible and very relatable to everybody. The cheesy 90s stuff can either be a flaw or your cup of tea if you like those types of movies. And if you like Voltron as well as Godzilla, then you're in for a treat because this is essentially both of those movies put together. Until next time, thanks for watching.